You guys, I can feel it. 2024 is going to be your best year yet. And here's why. You're going to become the productive queen you've always wanted to be and start building the life of your dreams. And I know what you're thinking right now. You might be like,
Divya, I don't know if that's me. I've always struggled with procrastination and finding motivation.
Not this year, okay? This year is going to be different because this year I'm going to share with you my tips, tools, and habits that really changed my identity for me to become a productive person. So if you're ready to make some moves in 2024, let's get right into it. First things first, I need you to understand something. Productive is an adjective. So it's a word that we use to describe a person, a day, an activity. You get it. What is important about that is that no one is born productive, okay? It is not something that is genetic. It's not something that's passed down from one generation to another, which means everyone and anyone can be productive. That's major good news. Everyone and anyone can be productive. So already that can help you break any sort of limiting beliefs that you have in regards to it. You can be productive just as anyone else. And this is what we're going to be working on in this video. We're going to be working on making you a productive person rather than just making you feel productive, because feeling productive is based on an emotion, which means that it's very temporary and it's very fleeting and it's not going to be sustainable in the long run. However, if we shift your personality to that of a productive person, then it's really going to work on a longer term, and that's what we want. All right, now I'm going to stop rambling about productivity and I'm actually going to share all the tips, the tools, and the habits that are going to help you this year. First tip, the work environment setup. I feel like this tip might not be as relevant if you already have a workspace, but if you're like me and you work a lot from home, then I think it is so important that you have a dedicated work environment. So obviously this can be a desk if you have the luxury of having a desk and if you have the space for it, or just like a little corner that you organize for work specifically. And what that is going to do, it's actually going to train your brain to every time that you enter that space or corner, switch to work mode and get going. Let's be honest, although we love working from our bed or from our couch, we are probably not as efficient. I mean, our posture is different, our energy is different, and maybe something that we could be doing in like a few hours will take so much longer. Because your brain already associates the bed with sleeping and the couch with chilling, so every time you're working from those spaces, it might be a bit confused as to what it should really be doing. And that is probably why you're not as productive or efficient as you want to be. Create work sessions during your day. Personally, I just find that having different work sessions during the day for dedicated tasks and projects just help me keep my energy up and my performance much higher. I don't know, but just the idea of sitting for hours on end working on this big task is not really appealing and it's not really attractive to me. It might even make me want to procrastinate more. So what I like to do is really segment my day. So the way that it works for me, I dedicate the first 3 hours after my wake up to health and wellness. So that's where I'm going to be working out, meditating, journaling, all that good stuff. And then I do 1 hour of like admin work. This is where I clear out my inbox and just make sure I have everything under control. And then I do a first session of deep work. I break for lunch, and after lunch I do another session of light work, just because after lunch I find that my energy is a bit lower, so I need a little time to get back into it. And then around like 3-4 I do another session of deep work, break for dinner, and then another session until like 10 p.m. or so. So every work session is kind of like separated by a little food break or a shower sometimes, and I don't know, but it just helps me keep my energy levels up and also my motivation. And this is also applicable if you're working on like a big project, okay? Let's say you're working on this massive PowerPoint presentation. The way it will work is that you would separate that big project into little tasks and little work sessions. So maybe the first one would be to do a research on the topic of your presentation, right? And then you might want to kind of like filter out all the information you've gathered and also do an outline of what you're going to present. A third work session might be to organize all this information into slides, and then a fourth one might be to just like make it very pretty and make sure that everything runs very smoothly. So obviously this could be done in one sitting, and I have been there where I just had to make it work and make it happen. But if you do have the luxury to kind of like organize it in work sessions, I just feel like it gives you a little more time to breathe and it keeps things more engaging for yourself. I don't know about you, but if I were to just do everything in one sitting, I would have a tired mind at some point, and I'm not sure that my work would be just as efficient as I would like it to be. Another thing that I really like to do in regards to work session is kind of like dedicating it to another place outside of my home. And that works really well for tasks that I have a lot of resistance towards, and maybe tasks that I have been procrastinating on a little bit. So I'm gonna tell myself, okay, you're gonna go to this cafe right now and you're not gonna come back until you finish that task. And I promise you it works all the time. For some reason it just pushes me to get it done in record amount of time. So I definitely recommend you try it and you report back to me. And to be honest, it's just fun to be able to change work environments from time to time. It just keeps things a little bit more interesting. The dump list and the to-do list. Okay, so bear with me on this one. It might get a little bit long. So those two are two different lists, okay? The dump list is a list where you're going to write every single thing that you need to do, from errands that you need to run, tasks that are super important, tasks that are very time consuming, tasks that are not that important but still need to be done, and tasks that are just like quick wins. So you're basically liberating mind space and putting it all on paper or in your notes app. Then you're going to categorize that list. Either it is personal tasks or either it is work related tasks. And then on top of that, you're going to categorize it even more. So either those tasks are going to be deep work tasks or they're going to be light work tasks. So deep work tasks are tasks that require a lot of brain power. They cannot be handled that easily or that fast if you have any sort of distraction. It's better to stay laser focused on them and have a larger chunk of time dedicated to them. On the other hand, light work tasks are very easy to handle and they can be done while listening to a podcast or even with a TV show in the background. Let me give you an example. A deep work task can be that you are working on a PowerPoint presentation or editing a video. And a light work task can be that you're doing your laundry or even editing a photo. So now that you have a long list that is fully categorized, you can just start dig in there and get going. When you have more energy and more time on your hands, you can do one of those deep tasks. And when you feel lower energy and you're just like on the go, maybe you don't have a lot of time on your hands, then you can just do one of those lighter, or as I like to call them, filler tasks. Having a dump list has really changed the game for me because it just makes me feel that I can be productive throughout the day depending on my energy levels and the time of the day. And now let's talk about the to-do. So obviously you guys are all familiar with the to-do. A lot of people have a love-hate relationship with a to-do. And I just feel like maybe the reason that they do have this relationship with the to-do is because they're not realistic about it. They're probably writing to-do lists like they are grocery shopping lists. That is not the place and the time to do it. That is called a dump list, you know? In my mind, a to-do should not have more than 5 tasks on it. And within those 5 tasks, you need to highlight 2 or 3 priorities for the day. 2 or 3 things that if you manage to get done by the end of the day, you're going to consider your day as a success. The way that a to-do is going to work is only if you keep it short and sweet and to the point. The way that I like to work between the dump list and the to-do list is that I would have a dump list for the week or for the month, and then every day I kind of like take some of the tasks from the dump list and put it on my to-do. No more than 5 items, okay? And then from those 5 items, again, I highlight like 2 or 3 priorities that are non-negotiable for me. And if ever I don't get to do all those 5 items, but I still have done those 2 to 3 priorities for my day, I would consider myself very successful for the day, and I would consider my day a productive day. the Pomodoro or the Pomodorino technique. This is another tool that I use that I find really helpful. If you're not familiar with the Pomodoro technique, it's very simple. You work for 25 minutes and then you take a break for 5 minutes. You repeat that 4 times and then you take a longer breaks from 15 to 30 minutes. And I know what you're thinking right now, like when I don't want to work, I don't even want to work 25 minutes. Like 25 minutes is a long time when you're just not feeling it. I totally get you. So that's why I kind of like invented the Pomodorino technique. Actually, I don't know, maybe it exists, but I never heard about it before. So it's basically that I do a 10-minute work session. I take a break for 5 minutes. I repeat that 4 times. But usually what happens is that after 1 or 2 sessions, I kind of like feel the motivation creeping in and I kind of feel the momentum and I just want to keep going. So I never get to like 4 of those Pomodorinos. I just do 1 or 2 and then I'm in the mood and I'm ready to get going. But whichever technique you choose, you need to really respect the timer. That is really key here. So when the timer goes off and you're working, you need to stop what you are doing and then get in your break. And when the timer goes off in your break, you need to stop whatever you're doing again and get back to work. That's the only way that it works. Bookend your day. Here's the thing, if you give yourself a day to complete a task, you're going to take a day to complete that task. The amount of time that you spend on doing something is not directly correlated to the result that you're gonna have. And that kind of like makes sense because we all have the same 24 hours in a day, and yet some people do 10 times more than the others. In other words, it is not about the time that you spend on a task, it's how efficient you are. You could be doing the same task for a whole day, but then letting yourself getting distracted by social media or messages or emails, or you could do the same task in like a couple of hours, but really being laser focused, which is kind of why I really believe you should bookend your days. Just make sure that you have a start time and an end time. This way, your mind does not feel like it has endless time to do something that could be wrapped up in a couple of hours. And also, I just feel like it's a healthier outlook to live your life. Especially if you're working from home like me, it can be very tempting to just spend your whole day on your computer doing work. But the question is, how productive and how efficient are we really? At some point, our mind gets tired, and so I am sure our energy and what we are putting at the quality of our work is just not the same, and it's probably not worth it. So just plan something nice for you to do after your workday that is actually going to motivate you to finish your work ASAP. For me, I just love when my workday is over, I am taking a nice shower, I'm getting in my PJs, and then I am watching my favorite movie on the TV. That's my little pleasure, and knowing this, I'm always like, okay, I need to finish my work as soon as I can because I want to be watching Friends right now. I don't know, I just feel like it's so important for you to take the time to reward yourself at the end of the day for all the work that you have been doing. Plan your day the night before. So this is a habit that takes literally 5 minutes, but that is going to change your day. I don't know exactly how it works, but whenever I am planning my day the night before, meaning I am updating my to-do list, my dump list, I'm adjusting my calendar, I wake up with a mind that is fully conditioned to do the things that it's supposed to do. It's like my mind has prepared itself for what is to come during my sleep. Otherwise, you know, you're just waking up and you're then trying to figure out what you should be doing, what you should be starting with. It's just very overwhelming, and I just find that it makes me want to procrastinate even more. And if you want to take it further, then I suggest that you get started on one of those tasks the night before. And when you wake up in the morning, you just need to finish it. You skip the part where you need to get in the mood to work and jump directly to flow state. You'll just end up finishing your task much faster, and it's going to be so easy. And what it's going to do is going to give you this little sense of achievement that is really going to contribute to building momentum for your day. Seriously, try it. It is low effort, but it makes such a difference. Plan your week every Sunday. My last tip is that you take some time to plan your week every Sunday. What I mean by that is take some time for you to write a dump list, write a to-do list, make sure that every commitment or meetings or workout that you have or in your calendar, and then also plan your outfits for the day. I know it sounds like a lot of work, but it really does not take that long. Like, it probably can be all done in an hour, and you're gonna feel so much fresher and so much better starting the week this way, because you don't need to think of anything. Everything has been planned out and you just need to execute. Just imagine those two scenarios, okay? So scenario one, you are starting on Monday, you're feeling clueless about how your day or your week is going to look like and what you should be working on today, okay? You need to organize everything in the morning on a Monday. And then scenario two, you have everything figured out. You know, from your to-do, your dump list, your outfit, everything has been sorted out before and you just need to execute. I mean, it is crystal clear. There is no comparison on that. Not only is the mindset very different in those two scenarios, but I promise you the self-confidence that you're going to feel is going to be on another level, because you're going to be so proud of yourself for taking action the day before, even if you didn't really want to. And that is going to make you feel like such a boss lady ready to run the world. Bonus tip if you're feeling super lazy. Okay, so as I mentioned, this is for when you absolutely do not want to do any work, and that happens to every one of us, okay? We all have those days where everything just feels like so much work. Seriously, I get it, and I actually find that trying to work on those days is kind of counterproductive, because in the end, you're just gonna be so much more distracted, you're not gonna get anything done, and then you're gonna be feeling bad about yourself. Like, I would be on my couch, on my bed, trying to work, and then my mind is just not there, and so I am picking up my phone every 5 minutes. It's just like really, really annoying, and I get annoyed with myself. Here's what you're gonna do instead. You're not gonna work. You're not gonna work for an hour or 2 hours or half a day if you need, or even a whole day. But when I say you're not gonna work, you're going to close your computer, put it away, okay? You're not gonna pretend to work, because that's the key here. Don't pretend. We're past this point by now. You're not gonna be pretending to work, and you're gonna indulge in everything that you want to do. If you wanna be in social media, scroll your life away. If you wanna be watching your TV show, binge it. Like, really just do all the things that you are forbidding yourself from doing. And what is going to happen is really interesting, because being on your phone or watching TV is not forbidden anymore. You're actually not gonna want to do it for that long. After an hour or two, or in extreme cases after a day, you're not gonna want to continue to do that, and you're gonna want to get back to work. Personally, whenever I do this, after a couple of hours, I just feel disgusting and dirty, and there's just one thing that I want to do is get my shit together and get back to work ASAP. But the key here is really to close your computer, put it away, and not pretend like you are doing any type of work, because if it's next to you, your mind is probably still going to be engaged in it, and so you're not really giving it the break that it needs and the space that it needs. But no matter what, one day of rotting is all you get, no more than that, okay? Don't go pushing it for a week. That is not the idea here, okay? And then after that, no matter how you feel, you need to get back to work. Alright, those were my tips, my habits, and my tools that have really helped me become a much more productive person last year, and I really hope that they help you too. But in all seriousness, last year was very defining for me, because I showed myself that I actually could do it, and I actually could be a productive person. It was definitely not an overnight transformation, but I am so happy that today I am able to show up for myself and just do the things that I really want to do to build my dream life. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, then definitely like and subscribe. It means the world to me. And also, I want to know, what is a tip that you found the most helpful? Comment below, I'll be reading and replying, and I will see you soon for another video.